To listen to the candidates. It really does work in New Hampshire when we do this. And it's working real well in New Hampshire that we're voting Republican this time. You can see it all happening. I'm Chuck Morse. I grew up in Salem, New Hampshire. Lived there most of my life. I grew up with a dad that was a veteran. He was almost 100% deaf. He certainly struggled. He struggled a lot to keep a job, and that's where Mom stepped in, and Mom worked pretty hard to make sure that as a family, not only did we have food on the table, but she made sure that we were able to have other things. I tell people in the holidays she used to pluck turkeys to make extra money to make sure that we got something under the Christmas tree. She put that into all of us as a family. She put it into me. I started cleaning my church when I was very young. I made $2 an hour, but I never would have played hockey in New Hampshire if I couldn't do a job like that to make the spending money to be able to play. I also did that to go to college. It wasn't an easy trek for me to get to college. I went nights at first, had a few failures because I couldn't afford it, but I decided I was going to go full time, and I did that. I went to Plymouth State. That's where I met up with my wife Susan, who's the love of my life, and is truly working very hard, not only to support me here, but in the beginning to support me when I built the nursery and garden center. When we built that, we took on a ton of debt. We knew what it was like to make a payroll. We knew what it was like to work hard in New Hampshire. We did that, and we became pretty successful. And we had a daughter, Emma. And while we had this all happening, things were working, I decided to get involved in the community because it's the right thing to do in New Hampshire. I went and worked on local boards like the Boys and Girls Club and the nursing home. I served on the Board of Selectmen in Salem. I served as town moderator in Salem. I went to the state and served in the House of Representatives. And when I got there, I saw a problem in New Hampshire. We certainly needed to start to address our tax models in this state. So I ran for the state senate. I've been the longest serving state senate president in the state's history. 8 years as senate president. 8 years, yes, of making $125 a year doing that job to help you. That's what I've been doing. And in doing that job, we created the most conservative budget in the state's history in these past 2 years. We eliminated business taxes. We got rid of the interest and dividends tax over a course of 5 years. We put money in the bank, over $250 million. We have over $400 million in additional revenues that we didn't plan for in New Hampshire. And we did all of that in this budget. And we went even further. We created Republican principles in this budget. We created education freedom accounts. 1,800 children are now making their choice on the school they want to go to. We certainly started to hear about biases that were being taught in the school system. We fought that. We made sure that they were teaching ABCs, not CRTs, in New Hampshire. And we certainly addressed the fact in this budget that we made a strong statement in New Hampshire that in the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th month, there won't be abortions in the state of New Hampshire. That's all in this budget we just passed. And what are they doing in Washington? Washington's spending $6 trillion and borrowing 5 of it. Totally unlike what you're doing in New Hampshire. Washington's opening the borders and allowing all the drugs and 2 million people to come in the country. We wouldn't allow that in New Hampshire. We need to change things. We need to send the 603 way to Washington, not Washington to New Hampshire. I'm here to get your support. Thank you for listening to me. God bless.
GOP TV.